Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel, where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, give you my opinion on it. More importantly, asking for yours, dear friend. Lots to talk about. Timo Werner out. Will he get paid? Will he accept a pay cut? Chelsea are reportedly interested in Frenkie De Jong, depending on who you believe. Lots, and Chelsea, of course, have just beat Udinese again with the B team. The B team. Drop a like on the video to show your support of the channel. Do consider subscribing if you're new and you want to, but should you choose to do so, mate, hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Alright, let's talk about the game quickly. I did watch it. Chelsea's second game against Udinese, a 3-4-2-1 formation. Again, Tuchel's clearly scrapped the idea of a back four going into next season because it didn't look good. Chelsea were fine in this game. Some impressive performances from Ampadu to a degree, Conor Gallagher to a degree, Armando Broja getting in good goal-scoring positions, but frustrating with finishing. But then again, would he be a Chelsea player if he was clinical? Probably not. We're cursed, of course. As you'd expect, immense quality from Mateo Kovacic, who of course is a top-tier, world-class, elite player. So yeah, Chilwell may look a little bit off the pace still. Kennedy did alright. One person we were really impressed with, I think the collective Chelsea mandem, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Right wing back, say it quietly. Obviously, he played it a lot last season. Well, he played everywhere last season, didn't he? He played up front, he played in the middle of a back three, he played as a lone DM, he played as a double six, he played as a right wing back. They just don't know where to put him. It kind of looks like they might develop him as a right wing back, which is, he doesn't really seem like he does seem like a midfielder, like a big, you know, midfielder, and like, you know, and he's kind of unique, but if he's the backup right wing back behind Reece James, a lot of people who watched his performance today, I know, granted, it wasn't against the strongest opposition, but, you know, I believe he won the penalty, he scored the goal, he looked really great on the flank combining. Thomas Tuchel got in his ear at the beginning and said, look, I want more from you, and he got more from him. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the game. It's a 2-0 win, I believe. Hudson-Odoi came on again and looked pretty good. Comment down below your thoughts on this match, who you thought performed well, and what you think about right wing-back Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Is he developing into that role well? Let me know. Right then, quick talk on Timo Werner. Of course, he was absent in both of the games because he is injured. I don't want to joke about this because he could actually be injured, and I don't want to be a guy saying, oh, they're lying, he wants to leave, he's not injured. But, you know, you don't know, do you? He might be negotiating an exit. Fabrizio Romano tweeting this: Chelsea are prepared to let Timo Werner leave on loan, and it could include a buy option. He's in both Juventus and RB Leipzig's lists. Nothing close to completed yet. Newcastle have not opened direct talks to sign Timo as of today. Would be pretty funny if Newcastle signed Timo Werner, because the true Geordie, I know he always says he's always dissing Timo Werner, so if his club spend a lot of money to sign him, it'd be quite funny. Look, Timo's a great guy, is a good player in there, probably should return back to the Bundesliga to maximise his goal-scoring threat, play transitional football on the break, occupy or, you know, invade those spaces. He has been useful for Chelsea. He's not been an absolute flop disaster. He's been useful in situations, but probably should go. That's what I'd say. Let's see what the Metro are saying. Timo Werner agrees huge pay cut with RB Leipzig to push through Chelsea exit. So there's been conflicting reports about this initial report from Bild in Germany saying that Timo Werner would accept a 50% pay cut, which, if true, is absolutely wild. Chelsea forward Timo Werner has agreed to take a 50% pay cut in order to return to RB Leipzig, according to reports, in Germany. Werner, who has scored 23 goals in 89 appearances for Chelsea, obviously that's bad, but there's been worse. That's better than 1 in 4, and he has a bunch of assists and won some penalties and stuff. I don't know. It's not great, but it's not historically bad. started just 15 games in the Premier League last season and is keen to get more playing time. Yeah, so there's 89 appearances. Those will be on the bench as well, off the bench. So he's keen to get more playing time before the World Cup, well, later this year. So he'd need to start the season elsewhere in that case. So yeah, according to Bill, of course, this is the German publication, RB Leipzig are now working with an agreement with Chelsea and are exploring the possibility of signing Werner on an initial loan deal with an option to buy. The report claims that Werner is ready to return to Leipzig and would have to accept a 50% pay cut in order to help push the move through. Timo Werner's current deal is worth around £275,000 a week. While the forward has also attracted interest from Juventus. Quote, I hope he's coming back. He is a good player, Werner's former RB Leipzig teammate Poulsen said this week. He was his strike partner, didn't he? He got loads of goals for Poulsen. We are a team that is trying to take the next step and develop into one of the biggest clubs in Europe. You need quality players for that. We formed a good partnership in the past. They did. When asked about the prospect of Werner leaving Chelsea before the end of the window, Thomas Tuchel insisted that the 26-year-old has a point to prove at Stamford Bridge. I don't know about it. Timo has not talked about it, Tuchel said. In the moment, I think he wants to make his way at Chelsea. He still has a point to prove, scoring goals in the Premier League. Earlier this month, Werner suggested his aim is to secure more playing time ahead of the World Cup. He said, I could be happy anywhere. It is clear, I want to play more, and I should play more to be in a good shape for the World Cup and also have the chance to play in the World Cup. It doesn't change anything whether it's a Winter World Cup or in the summer. I think if I play half this season or a whole season, I should play. Yeah, look, Werner wants to get more minutes. Great. I kind of get it. £275,000 a week is so much money. But to get that halved. But the thing is, like, if it's true, of course there's conflicting reports about this. So, pinch your salt, ladies and gentlemen. But if it is true, fair play to him. He's getting some minutes. He does try hard, generally when he's on the pitch, although maybe lately his demeanour's changed. And he's willing to, take much less money. He will still get called up to Germany just by being a rotational Chelsea player. Do you know what I mean? He just wants to start. I don't know, man. Like, if true, fair play to him and good luck to him. Go back to Leipzig. Thanks for taking half the pay cut, making that sacrifice, because maybe Chelsea would have to, supplement his wages had he not. So he's kind of doing what the opposite of Frenkie De Jong's doing, but we'll talk about more of that in a moment. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Werner. It kind of makes sense. I don't think Tuchel would be overly interested in losing another forward without bringing another one in, especially with the 5 substitutions. He often speaks about that, you're less likely to sub the people at the back, more the people at the front each game, because they, make differences. So I think he'd want, to bring in someone else should we get rid of Timo Werner. Let me know what you think. Comment down below and let's move on. Speaking about players and pay cuts, the Frenkie De Jong saga continues, and this is absolutely insane. Twitter is a cesspit, yes, so I'm not going to use it as a barometer of sanity and collective rational opinion, but some Barcelona fans reacting really pissed off that he's not willing to be sold and signed for Man United, and no offense to United fans out there, why would you want to right now, considering the level he's at. And he's not, and they're angry at him because he's not taking a pay cut. What, mate? You signed him for your club. He's playing for your club. He's dreamed of playing for your club. He agreed a contract that you offered him. And now you're pissed off with him because he's not going to half his wages so you can spend all your money elsewhere. It's mind-blowing. They're actually pissed off with him and seeing him as the enemy for just wanting to do his job and get paid his wage that you previously agreed while you spend money elsewhere. And by the way, that's not even taking into account the fact how they owe him 20 million. They owe him 20 million, yet they're spending it elsewhere. And how can you should, as a Barcelona fan, you should feel sorry for him. Because it's bullshit. You should feel sorry for him. You shouldn't be angry at him. You should be like, my club's a disgrace. Anyway, whatever, man. Apparently, at Christian Falk, so speaking of Bill, the German reporter, saying this, true, green check mark, which of course is his tagline. Chelsea FC are interested in signing Frenkie De Jong, who's 25 years old, if N'Golo Kante, 31 years old, doesn't sign a new contract at the moment till 2023. So Barcelona are not interested in De Jong. Bayern are not interested in De Jong for this summer. This is really interesting, I think. Because, we all speculate, right, should, we put out Kante or Jorginho to pasture, but looking at what we've done with Thiago Silva, he's going to be 38 this season, just given a 4-year deal to a 31-year-old, who, by the way, is the same age as N'Golo Kante. Maybe it's like maybe Chelsea would give Kante a new 4-year deal like they have to Koulibaly. Although, granted, Koulibaly's a centre-back, and you like Thiago Silva, you can understand why he went on for longer, and he's playing in the middle of a back three, less running the further back you are. So maybe we wouldn't give Kante a 4-year deal because you can't rely on a 35-year-old Kante running around like a maniac. I know Modric has done it, but they're still kind of different. Modric doesn't rely on high-octane sprints as much as Kante. So maybe Chelsea do want to sign Kante to a new, long-term deal. Maybe they make him sign like a 3-year deal now, like a 3-year extension. Which he probably would do, I think. I think he'd probably be quite happy at Chelsea and N'Golo Kante to do that. And, looking at him yesterday, a reminder of how world-class he can be if he's not injured and if he's fit. And, he didn't go to America, he got to train at Cobham, and maybe this is his season. I know Thomas Tuchel always speaks about him being Chelsea's, superstar player. And, he's always wanted him. He wanted to sign him to Paris Saint-Germain. He wanted to always coach him for a long time, and he finally has that opportunity at Chelsea. I'm sure if he said to Tuchel, do you want to sign him on a new long-term deal? I said yes. He would say yes. So that's really, really interesting, I think. But should he not want to sign if he's like, I'll stay, 1 season, run down my contract? Chelsea would look for that sort of profile of midfielder that can move around a bit more and pass and progress. And to be honest, Frenkie De Jong isn't the wildest shout for a replacement for Kante. I don't think he's going to be like a lone CDM. De Jong does like to move around and ball carry, and he can create and do create passes and run into the box. He could play in that N'Golo Kante role, and maybe it'd be a little bit more offensively successful, and he'd be the good kind of midfielder in front of a back three and have that security of a back three behind him. Interesting to consider. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Would you take Frenkie De Jong as a Kante replacement? Would you think we should sign Kante to a new long-term deal? Do you think we should let him run down his deal and try and sign Frenkie De Jong to replace him? I want your comments, so make sure you tell me what you think down below. Thank you for dropping a like on the video and subscribing if you're new, only if you want to. But should you choose to do so, hit that sweet, sweet bell. See you soon, mate. Peace.